Hey guys, today I am going to be doing the book review of The Forever Song by Julie Kagor. Probably still didn't say her name right after this third book, but I don't know if you know, I did a book talk on both of the two books before this, and I didn't really know if I wanted to do a book talk for this one, but I did it anyway because it was just that good. And before I get started, I changed my book arrangement again. So yeah, that's fallen because this was there. And let's get started with this book talk because yeah, this is the third book to the series and it was really, really good. So I do not have any non-spoilers for this. So if you have not read the book, go read it now because it is really, really good. Read the series if you haven't read the series first, and if you have not read this book yet of the series, read this book because this book was really, really, this book was so awesome. I don't even know how to explain it. So if you have not read this book, do not continue watching. Do not, because I don't want to spoil you. Again, I don't want to be called the spoiler. So yeah, let's continue watching. If you have read this book, if you have not, goodbye. In the beginning of the book, from chapter 1 to chapter 3, Allison was a monster. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. She wanted to kill everyone and everything, and she didn't care because she thought Zeke was dead, and I'm guessing he was her anchor or something for humanity, and she just didn't care anymore because she thought Zeke was dead. And I'm just thinking, this is so dark. Even for Allison, who is a vampire, this is so dark. It kind of reminded me of The Young Elites by Mary Lou because that character is so dark, and I was thinking that throughout the whole book this was gonna happen, but it didn't. Chapter 7. Chapter 7 for me was so high in emotions. I was in school reading chapter 7 during my lunch hour, and it was so high with emotions. I was probably in hysterics. My friend Jane had to take the book away from me because I couldn't even start the next chapter because of everything that just happened. I was hysterical. I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And my friends all think I'm probably crazy now because I was reading a book and they're all playing games and everything. And I'm just freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, what just happened? And if it's been a while since you read the book, I will recap it. She finds out Zeke is alive. He tries to kill her. And there's this huge bloodbath because they're going into Chicago, I'm pretty sure. And they're trying to get to Zeke, and then he tries to kill Allie. I'm like, oh my god, what is happening? Even right now, as I'm thinking back, I'm like, what even? I couldn't even read the next chapter. I read the first word and I'm like, oh my god. Jane had to take the book away from me for the rest of the day because I couldn't even deal with it at that point. And it's only chapter 7, and it's this much of the book I've read, and there's that much left. I'm like, I'm only on chapter 7, and I can't even finish this book. There's a little thing in the book that really bugged me. This was before they actually got to the big tower. They were in an apartment and it burned down. It was saying how they couldn't smell any of the gasoline, but then 2 lines after it said that she could smell the blood. Is this a thing that I didn't really pick up in the first 2 books? Is this a thing that they can only smell blood and not other substances? Because that really confused me. I'm like, but you just said you couldn't smell anything, but you can't breathe. In chapter 12, I love it. I love the moment when Jackal basically told Allie and Zeke to suck it up and pull it together. It reminded me so much of Kenji and Juliet when he was basically telling her everything in the Shadow Me series. I don't know if that was on Unravel Me or Ignite Me, but it reminded me so much of that moment. I love it so much. It was just a lull moment for me after all the emotions in chapter 7 to chapter 12. It was awesome. When they go into the lab, after all they get to Eden, and I didn't think that's how you say it. That's what I've been pronouncing the whole book. After they get there and they find out that Saren or whatever his name is, basically set rabbits, infected rabbits and everything all over the city, and they start walking to the lab where they think they're gonna meet him. I had a really bad feeling that we find out later on was proven true, that he had Caleb and Bethany, and I was just thinking that in my head, oh my gosh, he has them, because Zeke probably mentioned them when he was under his control, so I'm thinking, no, please not them. We find out later on in the book that he does have them, and it was like, no! Again, when they were entering the lab, he says, smelling faintly of chemicals and disinfected. Then why couldn't you smell the gasoline? I don't know why this annoys me so much, but it really does. If you couldn't smell the gasoline, then you can't smell anything else. That's just logic. At chapter 18, when they finally killed Saren or whatever his name is, and Kanna was about to jump because he found out he was the cure and everything into like the rabbit thing to save all the humans. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm not really upset. Well, I was kind of upset that Kanna was dying, but at the moment I was thinking, Jackal and Allison were also bitten by these infected rabbits. How are they going to live? But that was before we found out that Allison is a master. Like, first, let me finish this thought before I get onto that thought. Like, at that moment, he didn't really explain to her, oh yeah, you're a master, so you could, you're healing yourself anyway. And Jackal, you can just save Jackal if you choose to. But he was about to jump into a thing of rabbits when Allison and Jackal are still bitten and he hasn't really explained anything to her. I feel like if she didn't run up and try and stop him, that she would have never found out, oh, I have the cure too. And that was a really big thing for me. I'm kind of not as upset as Cannon dying because he lived for so long and he was really happy, they said, when he died because the Jackal and Allison felt it, so that was okay. Now let's get back on the other thought. Allison is a master. How is that even possible? Like, why? Like, I didn't even understand it when he said only masters can come out of hibernation that fast. I didn't really gather the fact, oh, she's a master. I just kind of like, oh, cool, she's awesome. And I'm like, what? You a master? I love Zeke and Jackal's reaction to just like, look at each other, look at her, what? I'm your master? What? When did this happen? Like that, for me, if I was told I was a master, I wouldn't really know how to say it. I probably wouldn't even blurt it out, oh yeah, I'm a master. That was so weird. But I really liked how they did that because now I think Kanna was the last master, so now she's the last master. Don't really know if that's it, but that's what I thought. So yeah, I kind of want a novelea or a novel. I think that's how you say it. I can't speak properly. I kind of want another one of these books, these little books, just to say what happened after, because they're like, oh, let's go put the cure to the world, and then like, but can we? I hope you guys like this video. Like and subscribe. The Immortal Rules book talk will be up here. The Turner Cure right here, and then of course this is the final book to that series, and that's the first book. That one. My other channel will be up here, and my Twitter and my blog and everything will be in the description below. Again, like and subscribe, and also if you have any books you want me to read, let me know because I would definitely like to read them. I am obsessed with books. It is very, very sad. And I don't know if you guys know, but this was one of my March TBR books. So yay me, I read one of them. I think I only read 2 so far. The other book was not on it. But at the end of the month, you will see what books I have read and what books I have not read and what books I need to read for April. Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyways, bye!